Imagine this. What if some parts of human history were never meant to be found? Not lost by accident, but buried on purpose. Massive structures that still defy modern science. Stones arranged to speak with the sky. Entire civilizations that vanished without leaving answers behind. The real question isn't what we've discovered so far. It's what's still being hidden. Every silent ruin, every ancient mark, feels like a warning rather than a clue. And maybe the most unsettling truth of all is this. Some mysteries don't want to be solved. The world we live in today is built upon layers of history. Layers we can touch, read about, and study. But there's a vast expanse beneath this surface, a realm of uncertainty, where mysteries linger in the dark corners of time. These are the places and events that history has left behind, neither fully understood nor fully explained. They're the haunting questions that continue to call out to us, reminding us that not all answers have been uncovered, and perhaps some never will be. In this realm, archaeology serves as our guide, a tool that uncovers artifacts, unearths cities, and reconstructs the story of our ancestors. Yet, despite all that we have learned, there remains a lingering sense that some stories are not meant to be fully understood. Some remnants of the past continue to defy explanation. These unresolved mysteries, hidden deep within the soil, seem to whisper, urging us to keep searching, to keep questioning. As we journey through these enigmas, we find that there is beauty in the uncertainty itself. The unanswered questions leave room for imagination, for speculation, and for the human need to seek meaning in the unknown. How did the pyramids at Giza come to stand so tall against the horizon? Why did the people who built Stonehenge leave no written record of their purpose? Was Atlantis a real city, or is it simply a myth passed down through generations? With each of these ancient puzzles, the line between fact and mystery becomes blurred. And this blur is what draws us in. It stirs our curiosity, challenges our understanding, and keeps us coming back for more. We are about to embark on a journey through time, exploring some of history's most unsolved archaeological mysteries. Along the way, we will delve into the questions that have yet to be answered, embracing the possibility that some things may always remain beyond our grasp. And perhaps that's the way it's meant to be. Through these stories, we aim to not only uncover the past, but to explore the very nature of mystery itself. What does it mean to live in a world where there are still puzzles left unsolved? As we stand on the edge of the known and the unknown, we find that the allure of these unsolved archaeological mysteries is not just about finding answers, but about embracing the questions that remain, forever suspended in time. This journey will not just be about artifacts and ruins, but about the sense of wonder and awe they invoke. So, let us step into the shadows of the past and uncover the secrets that time has left behind. What we find may surprise us, but the most profound discoveries may come not in the answers, but in the questions themselves. The pyramids of Giza stand as monumental testaments to the ingenuity of ancient Egypt. Their towering forms a symbol of strength, mystery, and ambition. They have captured the imagination of countless generations, each seeking to unlock their secrets. Yet, despite centuries of study, the true story behind their construction remains elusive. Even the most brilliant minds in archaeology and engineering have struggled to fully comprehend how these massive structures were built with the limited technology available at the time. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the largest of the three, rises to a staggering height of 481 feet, a feat of architectural prowess that continues to inspire awe. It is composed of over 2 million stone blocks, each weighing several tons. The precision with which these blocks were cut and placed remains unmatched in the ancient world. Modern-day engineers, equipped with all the tools of the present, have difficulty replicating such a feat with our advanced machinery. So, how did the ancient Egyptians manage to build something so monumental without the technology we take for granted today? Some argue that the construction of the pyramids was the result of simple yet ingenious methods, using ramps, levers, and sheer human labor. Others suggest that the Egyptians possessed lost technologies or knowledge, handed down from even earlier civilizations, or perhaps even from extraterrestrial visitors. Such theories may sound far-fetched, but they only serve to highlight the vast chasm between what we know and what we don't. The fact that the pyramids were built at all is a triumph of human will and determination. But the questions surrounding their methods and the precise role they played in ancient Egyptian society remain unanswered. Moreover, the alignment of the pyramids with such precision to the cardinal points of the compass adds another layer of mystery. How did the Egyptians achieve this level of accuracy thousands of years ago without access to modern instruments? Was their understanding of astronomy far more advanced than we have been led to believe, or did they possess knowledge that has been lost to time? The presence of celestial alignments, such as the positioning of the pyramids in relation to the stars, only deepens the intrigue. Some even believe the pyramids are part of a larger, more intricate astronomical calendar, one that holds secrets that we have yet to decipher. In addition to these construction mysteries, the purpose of the pyramids continues to spark debate. While most believe they were built as tombs for the pharaohs, there is still no conclusive evidence that they were intended solely for this purpose. Some speculate that the pyramids may have served as powerful symbols of divine authority, representing a connection between the earthly realm and the heavens. Others propose that they were constructed to harness some form of cosmic energy, though such theories remain speculative at best. Yet, as with many archaeological mysteries, it is the lack of definitive answers that keeps us returning to the pyramids. The more we learn, the more we realize how little we truly understand. Perhaps the pyramids were designed to remain unsolved, standing as eternal reminders that some mysteries are meant to endure beyond the grasp of time. As we move forward into other unsolved mysteries, we carry with us the sense of awe and wonder that the pyramids inspire. Their quiet, unyielding presence continues to provoke questions about the limits of human achievement and the mysteries of the ancient world. The pyramids are not just monuments of stone. They are puzzles, each one with a piece missing, leaving us to wonder if we will ever find the key to unlocking their full story. Stonehenge stands as one of the most iconic and enigmatic monuments of ancient history, its massive stone circle continuing to captivate both scholars and the public alike. Located on the windswept plains of Salisbury in southern England, this prehistoric structure has long been shrouded in mystery. Its purpose, construction methods, and the identity of those who built it remain subjects of debate and intrigue. Stonehenge invites questions that have yet to be definitively answered, offering a tantalizing glimpse into the distant past while leaving much to the imagination. The circle of stones at Stonehenge is remarkable not just for its size and construction, but for the way it aligns with the movements of the sun. At the summer solstice, the sun rises directly over the heel stone, casting its rays perfectly through the center of the stone circle. This celestial alignment suggests that Stonehenge was far more than a mere gathering place. It may have had deep astronomical significance. But what exactly did it signify? Was an observatory a place of worship, or was something else entirely? The theories surrounding its purpose are as varied as the people who have studied it over the centuries. One of the most widely accepted theories is that Stonehenge was used as a religious or ceremonial site. Many believe that the monument functioned as a place where ancient peoples performed rituals, perhaps to mark significant seasonal events like solstices or equinoxes. The alignment with the sun suggests a deep understanding of astronomy, and some scholars propose that the stones were carefully arranged to track the movement of the celestial bodies, enabling the ancient Britons to predict seasons, eclipses, and other astronomical events. However, the question of how such a massive structure was built remains a mystery in itself. The stones, some of which weigh as much as 25 tons, are made of two types of rock: the larger sarsen stones and the smaller blue stones, which were transported from over 150 miles away. How did the builders move these massive stones over such great distances, especially given that they lack the advanced tools and technology we possess today? Theories range from the use of wooden sledges and ropes to complex systems of rollers and levers, but no one has been able to conclusively determine the method used to transport and erect the stones. The construction of Stonehenge likely required a level of coordination, manpower, and engineering skill that would have been unprecedented for the time. Yet, even as we speculate on its physical construction and purpose, there's a deeper mystery surrounding Stonehenge. Who were the people behind it, and what drove them to create such a monumental and enduring structure? The prehistoric society responsible for Stonehenge left behind few written records, and what we know about them is limited to their material culture and the remains of their settlements. This gap in knowledge only adds to the sense of mystery that surrounds Stonehenge. Was it the work of a single tribe, or did multiple groups collaborate on its construction? What motivated these ancient people to invest so much time and effort into building a structure that would have taken generations to complete? There are also theories suggesting that Stonehenge could have had a spiritual or healing function. Some researchers have speculated that the site may have been regarded as a place of pilgrimage, where people came to seek spiritual guidance or physical healing. The blue stones, in particular, are thought to have been believed to possess mystical properties, perhaps regarded as having therapeutic powers. In this sense, Stonehenge could have been a sacred space where the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds were believed to be more porous. The mysteries of Stonehenge are not just limited to its construction or purpose, but extend to its ongoing significance. In the centuries since it was built, Stonehenge has continued to serve as a symbol of power, of connection to the heavens, and of mystery. It has been associated with everything from Druidic rituals to modern-day New Age practices. And even today, people continue to gather at the site to celebrate the solstices, as if the monument still holds the same magic it once did for those who built it. Like the pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge endures not only because of its physical structure, but because of the questions it raises. It is a reminder that some mysteries, no matter how much we study them, may never be fully solved. But in that uncertainty lies their beauty and power. As we continue to study and explore Stonehenge, we find that it is not merely a relic of the past. It is a living, breathing enigma that still captivates and compels us to seek answers, even as it leaves us with more questions than we had before. And with these questions, we move forward, away from Stonehenge, yet carrying with us the sense that the answers we seek might just lie beyond what we can understand, just as the mystery of the stones themselves stretches out endlessly into the horizon. The myth of Atlantis has haunted the human imagination for thousands of years. It is a story that seems almost too perfect to be true, an advanced, prosperous civilization existing at the height of human achievement, only to be swallowed by the sea in a single day and night of unimaginable destruction. Atlantis is a tale of grandeur, mystery, and tragedy. But is there any truth to it? Was there once a city so magnificent that it could rival the greatest civilizations of antiquity? Or is it simply the product of imagination, a myth woven into the fabric of ancient culture? The first recorded mention of Atlantis comes from the works of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, who wrote about the lost city in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, around 360 BCE. According to Plato, Atlantis was an island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. It was said to be a powerful, wealthy kingdom, rich in natural resources and technologically advanced beyond its time. The Atlanteans were described as being noble and virtuous, but over time, they became corrupt and greedy. In a catastrophic turn of events, the gods punished Atlantis, causing it to sink beneath the waves, lost forever to the ocean. Plato's account is vivid and detailed, but it also leaves room for doubt. Was he recounting a historical event, or was he using the story as a parable, a moral lesson about the dangers of hubris and the fall of civilizations? Some scholars believe that Atlantis was entirely fictional, a construct of Plato's imagination meant to convey a message about the rise and fall of nations. Others argue that there may be a kernel of truth in the story, that Plato was referencing a real civilization that was destroyed by a natural disaster, possibly a volcanic eruption or a massive earthquake, leading to its disappearance beneath the sea. Over the centuries, the idea of Atlantis has been embraced by a wide array of thinkers, from historians to mystics, and has sparked endless speculation about its possible location. Some have suggested that Atlantis could have been located in the Mediterranean, possibly in the area of Santorini, where the Minoan civilization thrived and was nearly destroyed by a catastrophic volcanic eruption around 1600 BCE. Others point to the Caribbean, with theories suggesting that the island of Bimini in the Bahamas could be the site of a lost city. Still others have posited that Atlantis was located in the Americas, perhaps in the Gulf of Mexico, or even in the Amazon rainforest. The search for Atlantis has taken many forms, from serious archaeological expeditions to more fantastical, almost mythical quests. What makes the myth of Atlantis so compelling is the possibility that it could be more than just a story. The idea that an advanced civilization once existed and was lost to history taps into a deep, universal longing, the desire to discover something ancient, something hidden, and to connect with a long-lost part of humanity's past. Atlantis represents a dream of knowledge and enlightenment, a golden age of wisdom and progress, lost to time. Yet, as with so many historical mysteries, the question of Atlantis raises more questions than it answers. Did such a city ever exist, or was it merely the product of myth and legend? If Atlantis did exist, what happened to it? Was it destroyed by a natural disaster, or did its people simply vanish, leaving no trace behind? The mystery of Atlantis has captivated explorers, scholars, and dreamers alike for centuries, but no definitive evidence has ever been found to support the claim that it once existed. In fact, many believe that Atlantis is simply a cautionary tale, a reflection of Plato's views on the fragility of human civilizations and the dangers of pride. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the myth of Atlantis continues to inspire. It has been the subject of countless books, films, and theories, each exploring a different aspect of the legend. Some argue that the story of Atlantis holds clues to the lost knowledge of ancient cultures, suggesting that the civilization possessed advanced technologies that were lost with its downfall. Others claim that the story of Atlantis represents the archetype of a great civilization that rises and falls in cycles, a warning that the same fate may one day befall our own society. As we reflect on the myth of Atlantis, we are left with a sense of wonder and longing. Whether it is a factual account or simply a product of Plato's imagination, the story continues to capture our imagination. It reminds us that there are still mysteries in the world that defy explanation, that some stories, no matter how much we may want to uncover them, may remain forever hidden beneath the waves of time. As we turn our attention to other ancient mysteries, the myth of Atlantis endures, a symbol of the enduring human quest for knowledge and the eternal allure of the unknown. Stretching across the arid plains of southern Peru, the Nazca Lines are one of the most remarkable and puzzling archaeological sites in the world. These immense geoglyphs, etched into the earth over 2 millennia ago, depict a wide range of figures, ranging from simple geometric shapes to elaborate animals, such as a spider, a hummingbird, and a monkey. Spanning an area of nearly 500 square kilometers, the sheer scale of the Nazca Lines is breathtaking. Yet, their purpose remains shrouded in mystery. How could a civilization, without the benefit of modern aerial technology, create such vast and intricate designs, visible only from the sky? And why? The questions surrounding the Nazca Lines invite us to look deeper into the past, seeking answers that seem just beyond our grasp. The mystery of the Nazca Lines begins with their construction. The lines themselves are made by removing the top layer of reddish-brown stones from the desert floor to reveal the lighter-colored earth beneath. But how do the Nazca people achieve such precision? The designs range in size from simple, small patterns to massive formations that stretch for hundreds of meters. Some of these figures are so large that they can only be fully appreciated from the air, which raises the question, Did the Nazca people have some kind of aerial vision, or was there another method for creating these enormous figures? Over the years, a variety of theories have been proposed to explain the lines. One of the most commonly accepted ideas is that they serve a religious or ceremonial purpose, potentially related to the worship of deities or cosmic forces. Some researchers suggest that the lines were aligned with celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, and stars, acting as astronomical calendars or markers. The Nazca people may have used these lines to track the movement of the sun or to make ritualistic offerings to the gods, calling upon the forces of nature to ensure agricultural fertility or to predict important events. Others have proposed that the lines were constructed as part of a complex water cult. The arid Nazca region is notorious for its scarcity of water, and some scholars believe the geoglyphs may have been created as part of rituals aimed at summoning rain. The lines might have been created as offerings to water gods, with the intention of ensuring the survival of crops and communities in a region where water was a scarce and precious resource. This theory, while plausible, is still debated, as there is no definitive evidence linking the lines directly to the worship of water deities. An alternative theory suggests that the Nazca lines may have been created for more practical purposes, such as marking pathways or acting as ceremonial roads. Some suggest that the lines could have served as pilgrimage routes, guiding people to sacred sites or ritual locations. These pathways, in this interpretation, would have led worshippers to places where they could connect with the divine, offering prayers, sacrifices, or performing sacred rites. The idea that the Nazca lines served as ritualistic routes adds another layer of mystery to their purpose. Why such elaborate and enormous paths would be needed is still a question that remains unanswered. However, some of the most intriguing theories point to the possibility that the lines may have had a connection to extraterrestrial beings. Ancient astronaut theorists have long suggested that the sheer size, complexity, and precision of the Nazca lines are beyond the capabilities of a primitive culture. They argue that the lines may have been created as a form of communication with beings from other worlds, or perhaps even constructed as landing strips for ancient alien spacecraft. While this theory is often met with skepticism, it continues to attract a following, adding to the mystery and allure of the Nazca lines. Despite numerous theories, there is no consensus on the true purpose of the Nazca lines, and that uncertainty only adds to their mystique. The more we learn, the more we realize how little we actually know. We have uncovered some of the most basic facts about the lines, their construction, their scale, and their potential connection to celestial bodies, but the deeper meaning behind them remains just out of reach. The Nazca lines continue to defy easy explanation, and perhaps that is part of their enduring power. What makes the Nazca lines so fascinating is not just their mystery, but the way they challenge our understanding of the ancient world. How could a society, without the advanced technologies we take for granted today, create such an elaborate and enduring set of symbols? And why would they invest so much time, energy, and resources into creating something so monumental, the full meaning of which remains forever elusive? In the end, the Nazca lines may not be a puzzle that can ever be fully solved. Perhaps they were created not with the expectation that their meaning would be understood by future generations, but as a way for the Nazca people to communicate with forces, be they gods, the cosmos, or something else entirely, that they could not fully comprehend. These massive geoglyphs are more than just marks on the earth. They're a testament to a civilization's desire to connect with something beyond themselves, a desire to leave a message to future generations. And in that, the Nazca lines remain a timeless enigma, calling to us across the centuries, urging us to keep searching for answers that may never come. The Anasazi, a mysterious and highly advanced civilization, flourished in the southwestern United States for nearly 1,000 years before vanishing without a trace. Their cliff dwellings, intricately carved stone structures, and sophisticated agricultural systems are lasting reminders of a people whose history remains largely obscured. Yet despite the grandeur of their accomplishments, the Anasazi mysteriously disappeared around the 13th century, leaving behind abandoned cities and no clear explanation for their sudden departure. This abrupt disappearance continues to captivate archaeologists and historians, sparking numerous theories about their fate, each one as perplexing as the next. The Anasazi, also known as the ancestral Puebloans, built some of the most impressive structures in pre-Columbian America. One of their most notable achievements is the construction of cliff dwellings, elaborate buildings carved directly into the faces of canyon walls. These dwellings, such as those at Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon, were marvels of engineering designed to withstand both the harsh desert environment and potential attacks from rival tribes. The Anasazi also developed an advanced system of irrigation, allowing them to cultivate crops like maize, beans, and squash in the arid desert. They were among the first people to adopt a sedentary lifestyle, shifting away from nomadic hunting and gathering to settled agricultural communities. Despite their many achievements, the Anasazi vanished from the archaeological record around the 13th century, leaving behind only the ruins of their once thriving cities. The causes behind their disappearance have been the subject of much speculation, but no definitive answer has been found. One of the most widely discussed theories is that the Anasazi were forced to abandon their homes due to prolonged drought. The southwestern United States is known for its arid climate, and periods of severe drought could have decimated their crops, making survival increasingly difficult. Evidence of water shortages in the region supports this theory, suggesting that the Anasazi may have been unable to sustain their agricultural systems, leading to mass migration or the abandonment of their cities. Another theory points to social and cultural factors as the driving force behind the Anasazi's disappearance. Some scholars argue that internal conflict, perhaps due to resource scarcity or changing societal structures, led to the collapse of their society. The Anasazi were known for their complex social hierarchy, which may have become unsustainable as tensions grew between different groups. Some have suggested that the advent of religious or spiritual movements, possibly centered around the ancient kiva, ceremonial structures used for religious rituals, could have also played a role in their decline. This theory posits that the increasing importance of religious practices and the fracturing of social cohesion may have led to the eventual abandonment of their cities. The theory of warfare or violent conflict with neighboring tribes is also often discussed. The Anasazi, living in a relatively isolated region, were vulnerable to raids from more powerful or more numerous neighboring groups. Some archaeologists suggest that the Anasazi may have faced invasions, leading to their forced retreat from their settlements. However, there is little direct evidence to support this claim, and many of the remains of the Anasazi cities show no signs of violent destruction. Some more speculative theories suggest that the Anasazi may have had spiritual or mystical reasons for leaving their homes. For example, some believe that the Anasazi disappeared because of a religious prophecy or because they were called away by spiritual forces. The presence of certain symbols and religious iconography within Anasazi sites has led to suggestions that they may have believed in some form of divine intervention, which may have led them to abandon their cities in search of a new, sacred place. This theory, while intriguing, remains highly speculative, as it is based on limited evidence. Regardless of the cause, the disappearance of the Anasazi remains one of the great mysteries of the American Southwest. What is particularly baffling is the suddenness of their departure. Unlike other ancient civilizations that gradually declined over time, the Anasazi seemingly vanished almost overnight. Their impressive stone structures, once bustling with life, now stand silent and empty, haunting reminders of a lost civilization. The ruins of their cliff dwellings and multi-story buildings continue to intrigue and mystify, offering no clear answers as to why they abandoned these monumental sites. The legacy of the Anasazi is still very much alive today, with their descendants, the Pueblo peoples, living in the American Southwest and preserving many of the traditions and practices of their ancestors. Yet, even as we connect with their living descendants, we remain unable to answer the central question: why did the Anasazi vanish? Was it the result of environmental stress, social upheaval, or a combination of factors? Or was it something more profound? An event or series of events that left no trace, no record, no clear explanation? As we examine the evidence left behind by the Anasazi, we are reminded that not all mysteries can be solved. Some puzzles remain unresolved, and the Anasazi's disappearance may be one of them. The more we learn, the more questions seem to arise. Yet, in the silence of their abandoned cities, we are left with a haunting reflection that some stories are destined to remain unfinished, their chapters lost to time. And perhaps, in the case of the Anasazi, their disappearance is a mystery that will forever linger in the windswept canyons of the American Southwest. Far out in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean lies one of the world's most isolated inhabited places, Easter Island, known to its native Rapa Nui people as Rapa Nui. It is here, on this remote volcanic island, that nearly 900 mysterious stone giants, known as the Moai, stand as silent sentinels. These towering statues, carved from volcanic tuff, have watched over the island for centuries, their enigmatic expressions seeming to hold ancient secrets. Their presence raises countless questions about the people who created them, the purpose they served, and how such a small and isolated society managed to accomplish such a monumental feat. The Moai are impressive not only for their size, some reaching over 30 feet in height, but also for their craftsmanship. Carved with precise, intentional features, the statues portray elongated heads, deep-set eyes, and solemn expressions. Most of the Moai were carved from the rock of Reino Raraku, the island's main quarry, and were transported across miles of uneven terrain to their final resting places along the coastline. The process of carving and moving these colossal statues remains one of the greatest engineering mysteries of the ancient world. The question that has puzzled archaeologists for decades is how the Rapa Nui people, without any advanced tools or the ability to transport heavy loads over long distances, managed to move these enormous statues. Some theories suggest the use of wooden sledges or rolling logs, but the scarcity of trees on the island raises doubts about this method. Other researchers propose that the Moai were walked to their destinations by rocking the statues back and forth using ropes, a technique that has been demonstrated in modern experiments, though not without challenges. Regardless of the method, the transportation of the Moai required immense coordination, strength, and ingenuity, revealing a level of sophistication not often attributed to ancient island societies. Beyond the technical challenges, the deeper mystery of the Moai lies in their purpose. Why did the Rapa Nui people invest so much effort in creating these statues? Most scholars agree that the Moai represent ancestors or chiefs, believed to possess spiritual power known as mana. By erecting these statues, the Rapa Nui sought to honor their ancestors and to ensure protection, prosperity, and guidance for their communities. The Moai were placed atop stone platforms known as ahu, often overlooking villages as if watching over the people. This spiritual connection between the living and the dead played a central role in Rapa Nui culture, and the Moai were believed to embody the life force of important figures long after their passing. However, the story of the Moai is not complete without acknowledging the dark chapter in Easter Island's history. Archaeological evidence suggests that the construction of the Moai and the societal systems supporting them eventually pushed the island's resources to the brink. Deforestation, caused by the need for wood to move the statues and for daily survival, led to soil erosion, dwindling food supplies, and environmental collapse. As resources became scarce, internal conflict erupted among the island's clans. Some believe that rival groups toppled each other's Moai during periods of war and desperation. This era of devastation marks one of the most dramatic cultural declines in human history, a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between human ambition and environmental sustainability. Yet even amid this collapse, the Moai continued to hold cultural significance. The Rapa Nui people adapted, shifting their focus to smaller carved figures and developing new religious practices centered around the Birdman cult. But the towering Moai remained symbols of a once thriving society, a society that reached extraordinary heights before facing an equally extraordinary decline. Another lingering mystery surrounds the completion of the moai. Many statues found at Reno Ruraku Quarry appear unfinished, some lying partially carved in the rock, as if the workers suddenly abandoned their tasks. What caused this halt? Was it due to resource shortages, conflict, or a deeper cultural shift? The quarry, filled with hundreds of half-carved figures, feels like a frozen moment in time, a powerful, haunting snapshot of a civilization at the brink of change. Modern research has uncovered even more surprising details about the moai. Many of the statues, long believed to be just heads and torsos, actually have bodies buried beneath the earth. Excavations have revealed that the moai were originally much taller than they appear today, their full forms concealed by centuries of sediment. These findings only deepen the mystery, showing that there is still much to learn about the true design and purpose of these statues. As we reflect on the moai, we see not only immense stone figures, but echoes of a people struggling to understand their world and ensure their survival. The moai are reminders of the Rapa Nui people's resilience, creativity, and spiritual devotion. They are symbols of both achievement and loss, embodying the dual nature of human progress, the ability to build wonders and the vulnerability to forces beyond control. Today, the moai continue to fascinate visitors and researchers alike, standing as silent guardians of a history that remains incomplete. Their enigmatic expressions seem to watch the horizon, as if waiting for someone to uncover the truth behind their creation. But perhaps, like many ancient mysteries, the power of the moai lies not in the answers we seek, but in the questions they inspire. They remind us that the past is filled with wonders that defy explanation, and that some secrets may be destined to remain in the shadows of time. In the heart of the Jordanian desert, hidden among the rugged mountains and rocky canyons, lies one of the most breathtaking and enigmatic ancient cities in the world, Petra. Known as the Rose City for the distinctive red-hued stone from which it is carved, Petra once stood as the capital of the Nabatean kingdom, an empire that controlled vital trade routes across the Middle East. Today, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 wonders of the world, attracting thousands of visitors every year. Yet, despite its fame and significance, much about Petra remains shrouded in mystery, especially the question of how such a sophisticated city, carved entirely out of stone, came to be and what caused its eventual decline. The city's most striking feature is its architecture: vast temples, tombs, and structures meticulously carved into the rock faces of the surrounding cliffs. The most famous of these is Al-Khazna, or the Treasury, a colossal facade with intricately detailed columns, friezes, and sculptures. This monument, which has been immortalized in countless photographs, was once believed to be the treasury of the ancient pharaohs, a testament to the grandeur of Petra's past. But while its beauty is undeniable, its function remains unclear. Was it truly a treasury, or did it serve another, more ceremonial or religious role? The answer is unknown, as much of Petra's history was lost long before modern archaeologists began to uncover its secrets. What makes Petra especially fascinating is that it was a city built entirely into the rock. The Nabateans, a nomadic tribe who settled in the region around the 4th century BCE, used their knowledge of the desert landscape to carve out an intricate network of dwellings, temples, and tombs, creating a city that was both functional and visually stunning. They also developed an advanced system of water management, building elaborate cisterns, aqueducts, and channels that allowed them to thrive in one of the driest regions of the world. Petra's location at the crossroads of several ancient trade routes helped it become a thriving center of commerce, where goods from the Mediterranean, Arabia, and beyond were exchanged. Despite its thriving economy and advanced infrastructure, Petra fell into decline and was eventually abandoned by the 7th century CE, long before it was rediscovered by Western explorers in the early 19th century. The reasons for Petra's fall are still debated. Some historians suggest that the city's decline was linked to the rise of new trade routes, which bypassed Petra, weakening its strategic position. The Nabateans, having prospered as middlemen in the spice and incense trade, may have seen their fortunes wane as new powers, such as the Roman Empire, took control of the region. Another theory is that the destruction of Petra was tied to natural disasters. Earthquakes, which are common in the region, may have caused significant damage to Petra's infrastructure, leading to its abandonment. There is evidence of several large earthquakes that struck the area around the 1st and 2nd century CE, causing widespread destruction. These earthquakes may have weakened Petra's defenses and contributed to the city's gradual decline. The combination of economic shifts, natural disasters, and political changes could have created a perfect storm, causing Petra to lose its prominence and eventually fade from history. Despite its decline, Petra continued to captivate the imagination of those who knew of it, even as it slipped from the world stage. For centuries, the city remained hidden from the Western world, its location forgotten and its history obscured by the sands of time. In 1812, Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt stumbled upon Petra, bringing the city back into the global consciousness. Since then, countless expeditions have uncovered its hidden treasures, though much of its ancient history remains a puzzle. The discovery of inscriptions, pottery, and artifacts has shed light on the city's past, but there are still many unanswered questions. How did the Nabateans, with their limited technological resources, create such an elaborate city? What was the true extent of their empire? And what happened to the people of Petra after its abandonment? The mystery of Petra deepens when we consider its sheer scale. The city covers an area of over 50 square kilometers, and despite extensive archaeological work, large parts of it remain unexplored. The Nabateans left behind an astonishing number of tombs, temples, and monuments, some of which are still only partially understood. The intricacy of the carvings and the precision of the architecture suggest a people with extraordinary skills and knowledge. Yet much of their culture and the reasons behind their unique construction techniques remain unknown. Were they influenced by other ancient civilizations, or did they develop their architecture independently? The answer is still unclear. There is also the question of the Nabateans' origins. The Nabateans were not native to the land of Petra. They're believed to have come from the Arabian Peninsula before settling in the area around the 4th century BCE. Their language, which is a form of ancient Arabic, has been deciphered through inscriptions, but little is known about their early history. How did they rise to prominence? And why did they choose to carve their city into the rock rather than build traditional structures? Was it a practical decision based on the scarcity of building materials? Or was it an expression of their religious or cultural beliefs? As we stand before the ruins of Petra, we are confronted with the mystery of a lost civilization that once thrived in a harsh and unforgiving environment. The city's magnificent architecture and its legacy as a hub of trade and culture continue to inspire awe, but the deeper questions of why it was built, how it flourished, and why it ultimately fell remain unanswered. Petra is not just a city. It is a monument to the enduring human spirit, to the ability of people to create wonders even in the most difficult circumstances. And in its silence, amidst the carved stone walls and towering facades, it calls out to us, urging us to continue seeking the answers that still lie hidden beneath the surface of the desert sands. The Bermuda Triangle, a region of the Atlantic Ocean roughly bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, is often referred to as the Devil's Triangle for its reputation as a mysterious and dangerous area where ships and planes are said to disappear under unexplained circumstances. For centuries, the Bermuda Triangle has been the subject of intense speculation, with numerous theories ranging from natural phenomena to supernatural forces attempting to explain the strange disappearances and unusual events that have occurred within its boundaries. The question that persists is not just whether these mysterious disappearances are real, but what forces might be at work in this region to make them so. The first recorded incident that fueled the Bermuda Triangle legend occurred in 1918 when the USS Cyclops, a massive Navy ship with 309 men aboard, vanished without a trace after departing for Barbados. No distress signals were received, and no wreckage was ever found. This inexplicable loss sparked a series of similar events throughout the 20th century, including the disappearances of various ships and aircraft. Perhaps the most famous incident occurred in December of 1945 when 5 U.S. Navy bombers, known as Flight 19, vanished while on a training mission. The pilots had reported strange compass malfunctions and disorientation before the planes disappeared into the vast ocean. Despite extensive search efforts, neither the aircraft nor the crew was ever found, and the incident remains one of the most chilling and widely discussed mysteries of the Triangle. Though there are many such stories of unexplained disappearances, the idea of a specific triangle where strange phenomena occur was popularized by writer Vincent Gaddis, who coined the term Bermuda Triangle in his 1964 book Invisible Horizons. Since then, the Triangle has become the subject of countless books, documentaries, and speculations, ranging from serious scientific investigations to more sensationalist theories about alien abductions or underwater cities. The fascination with the Bermuda Triangle is, in many ways, driven by its combination of unexplained disappearances and the sheer vastness of the area, which makes it feel as though anything could happen within its mysterious boundaries. But what exactly could explain such mysterious occurrences? Scientists have proposed several natural explanations for the strange events associated with the Bermuda Triangle. One of the most commonly cited theories involves the presence of powerful underwater currents and methane gas hydrates that could explain sudden, catastrophic disappearances. Methane gas trapped beneath the seafloor can, under certain conditions, be released in large quantities, reducing the water's density and causing ships to sink suddenly and without warning. Similarly, powerful oceanic currents could drag vessels and aircraft off course, making it seem as though they have vanished. Another theory suggests that the Bermuda Triangle lies within an area prone to sudden and extreme weather phenomena, including powerful thunderstorms, waterspouts, and rogue waves. These violent weather events can be difficult to predict and could explain why ships or planes suddenly disappear without a trace. In fact, the region is known for its volatile weather, and many sailors and aviators report that the Triangle's atmosphere can change with little warning, making navigation difficult and dangerous. Yet, despite these plausible natural explanations, there are still cases that remain unaccounted for and difficult to explain purely by environmental factors. One of the most baffling aspects of the Bermuda Triangle mystery is the recurring theme of disorientation and the malfunction of navigation instruments. In several reported disappearances, pilots and crew members have claimed that their compasses stopped working or that they lost their bearings, even when flying in clear skies. The idea that some unexplained force could interfere with navigational equipment raises the possibility of something beyond natural causes, further fueling theories that the Bermuda Triangle is a place of strange energies or forces. Other theories have ventured into the realm of the supernatural. Some believe that the Bermuda Triangle is the site of an ancient, lost civilization, possibly the remnants of Atlantis, whose mysterious power or technology could be responsible for the disappearances. Others have speculated that the area could be a portal to another dimension or a rift in the space-time continuum, where ships and planes slip into alternate realities or time loops. These ideas, though fascinating, remain speculative and largely unsupported by scientific evidence. Nevertheless, they contribute to the enduring allure of the Bermuda Triangle as a place where the boundary between the known and the unknown is blurred, where reality seems to warp and bend in mysterious ways. The Bermuda Triangle is a perfect storm of the unexplained, combining elements of danger, adventure, and the unknown. Even the United States government, which initially dismissed the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, has been forced to take notice, especially after several high-profile incidents involving military and civilian vessels. However, the government has also pointed out that the rate of incidents in the Bermuda Triangle is not significantly higher than that in any other heavily trafficked region of the world. In fact, experts argue that most of the disappearances can be attributed to common causes, such as human error, weather, and navigational mistakes. The Triangle may simply be the result of an area with high traffic, where the risks of travel, both by sea and air, are statistically higher, but the allure of the mystery keeps it firmly entrenched in the realm of the unexplained. For all the theories and speculation, the Bermuda Triangle remains an enduring enigma. While science may offer natural explanations for many of the events that have occurred within its boundaries, it cannot account for every incident, and the mystery persists. Whether the disappearances are simply a product of statistical coincidence, or whether something more otherworldly is at play, is still a question that haunts anyone who dares to venture into its vast waters. And perhaps that is the real allure of the Bermuda Triangle. It is a place where the boundary between science and mystery is forever blurred, where we can never quite be sure what forces are at work, and where the questions continue to captivate our collective imagination, beckoning us to seek answers in the shadows of the sea. The Great Sphinx of Giza, one of the most iconic and awe-inspiring monuments of the ancient world, stands as a symbol of Egypt's enduring mystery. Carved from a single mass of limestone, this colossal statue depicts a mythical creature, part lion, part human, that watches over the Giza Plateau with its timeless gaze. While the Sphinx has been the subject of fascination for centuries, its origins, purpose, and the meaning behind its enigmatic form remain some of the most debated mysteries in the world. Shrouded in the sands of time, the Sphinx holds secrets that continue to perplex archaeologists, historians, and researchers to this day. The Sphinx, with its lion's body and the face of a pharaoh, is believed to have been constructed during Egypt's Old Kingdom, around 2500 BCE, although some theories suggest it may be even older. Traditionally attributed to the pharaoh Khafre, the Sphinx is thought to have been carved to represent the king himself, his face symbolizing both his divine nature and his connection to the gods, while the lion's body stands as a symbol of power and strength. The location of the Sphinx, in close proximity to the pyramids of Giza, further supports this theory, suggesting that it was intended as both a guardian and a monument to the royal dynasty. Yet, the true purpose and symbolism of the Sphinx remain ambiguous. One of the most pressing mysteries surrounding the Sphinx is the question of its age. While mainstream archaeology dates the statue to the reign of Khafre, there are alternative theories that suggest the Sphinx could be much older, possibly predating the pyramids themselves by thousands of years. This theory is largely based on geological evidence, which indicates signs of water erosion on the Sphinx and its surrounding enclosure. Some researchers have argued that the erosion patterns are consistent with exposure to heavy rainfall, a climate that was likely present in the region during the pre-dynastic period, long before Khafre's time. If this theory is correct, it would suggest that the Sphinx was built at a time when the climate of Egypt was significantly different, and its true origins might be lost to history. Another element of mystery is the absence of any definitive inscription on the Sphinx that identifies its creator. Despite being one of the most studied and visited monuments in the world, the Sphinx has no clear markers that confirm its attribution to Khafre, and there is no record in ancient Egyptian texts that provides concrete evidence of the statue's purpose. While there are inscriptions and stelae found near the Sphinx, none of these texts offer direct details about the monument itself. This lack of clear historical documentation has led to speculation that the Sphinx's true origin might be concealed, either deliberately or by the passage of time. Theories about the Sphinx's function also abound. While the conventional belief is that it was built as a symbol of royal power, others suggest that it may have had a more esoteric or spiritual significance. Some propose that the Sphinx was intended as an astronomical marker, aligned with the stars or the sun to track celestial movements. There is even speculation that it could have had an initiatory role, serving as a gateway or focal point for sacred rites, linking the pharaohs with divine forces. The fact that the Sphinx faces the rising sun, while the pyramids are aligned with the cardinal points, suggests that it may have been involved in some form of ritualistic or astronomical observance, though this remains a matter of speculation. As we delve deeper into the enigma of the Sphinx, we must also consider the possibility of the monument's original purpose being far more complex and mysterious than simple representation or guardianship. Some researchers have even suggested that the Sphinx may be part of a much larger, lost temple complex, one that could have held forgotten knowledge or advanced technologies lost to time. There is evidence of extensive quarrying and construction in the area, which has led some to propose that the Giza Plateau once served as the site of an ancient and advanced civilization, one whose monuments were intentionally obscured by the sands of history. If this theory holds any merit, it could imply that the Sphinx is not just a monument to Egypt's pharaohs, but a remnant of a far older and more mysterious past. The Sphinx's relationship with the pyramids themselves is another point of contention. While it is generally accepted that the Great Pyramid of Giza was constructed as the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu, the connection between the Sphinx and the pyramids remains ambiguous. Some suggest that the Sphinx was built to guard the pyramids, serving as a symbolic protector of the sacred burial sites. Others argue that the Sphinx may have originally been part of a much grander plan, a celestial alignment of monuments that would have marked the center of an ancient spiritual or royal complex. However, these theories remain speculative, as no definitive evidence has been uncovered to prove any direct relationship between the Sphinx and the pyramids beyond their proximity to each other. What makes the Sphinx even more intriguing is the mystery surrounding its face. The facial features of the Sphinx have been subject to debate for centuries, with some scholars suggesting that the face originally depicted Khafre, while others argue that it might have been altered or recarved over time. In recent years, some researchers have even proposed that the face might not represent a pharaoh at all, but rather a deity or a different royal figure whose identity has been obscured by time and erosion. The question of whose likeness the Sphinx bears only adds to the mystery, as the true face of the monument remains veiled in uncertainty. As we reflect on the enigma of the Sphinx, we are left with a sense of wonder and intrigue. The Great Sphinx of Giza stands not only as a testament to ancient Egyptian craftsmanship and power, but also as a symbol of the mysteries that continue to elude our understanding. With its origins obscured by time, its purpose still debated, and its symbolism open to interpretation, the Sphinx remains one of the most profound and enduring mysteries of the ancient world. Its silent gaze across the desert sands reminds us that there are still secrets buried deep in the past, waiting to be uncovered, or perhaps waiting to remain hidden forever. Standing alone on the Salisbury Plain in southern England, Stonehenge is one of the most recognizable and mysterious ancient monuments in the world. Comprising massive standing stones arranged in a circular pattern, it has captivated historians, archaeologists, and visitors alike for centuries. With its origins dating back to roughly 3000 BCE, Stonehenge's construction spans several phases, and its purpose has been the subject of speculation for just as long. What was the true significance of this megalithic structure? Was it an ancient temple, a burial ground, an astronomical observatory, or something else entirely? The mystery of Stonehenge lies not only in how it was built, but why it was built in the first place, and the enigma continues to spark curiosity and debate. The first phase of Stonehenge's construction is believed to have begun around 3000 BCE, with the creation of a large earthwork enclosure. Over the following centuries, the monument was gradually expanded, and massive stones, some weighing as much as 50 tons, were transported from distant locations. The stones themselves, known as sarsens, come from the Marlborough Downs, nearly 20 miles away, while smaller bluestones were brought from the Preseli Hills in Wales, a staggering 150 miles away. How the ancient builders transported these massive stones across such distances, without the use of modern tools or technology, remains one of the most baffling aspects of Stonehenge. Theories abound, suggesting the use of sledges, rollers, and even primitive cranes, but the true method of transportation remains unclear. One of the most striking features of Stonehenge is its astronomical alignment. The monument is precisely aligned with the movements of the sun, particularly the summer solstice. On the longest day of the year, the rising sun aligns perfectly with the heel stone, a solitary upright stone located just outside the main circle. This alignment suggests that Stonehenge may have been used as an ancient observatory, a place to track the changing seasons and the cycles of the sun and moon. Some researchers speculate that Stonehenge serve as a place for rituals tied to the agricultural calendar, marking important events such as harvests and planting seasons. The precision of the alignment speaks to the advanced knowledge of astronomy possessed by the ancient builders. However, while the solar alignment is one of the most widely accepted theories, there are others that propose different uses for the site. Some believe that Stonehenge was primarily a place of healing. Evidence of human burials and cremations found in and around the site suggests that it may have been used as a burial ground or a place of spiritual significance. The bluestones, in particular, are believed to have had special healing properties, as the stones were thought to carry mystical energies. Some researchers argue that people may have traveled from great distances to visit Stonehenge in the hope of receiving some form of spiritual or physical healing, making the site a center for pilgrimage and religious activity. Another theory suggests that Stonehenge may have served as a ceremonial site for social gatherings, where rituals and feasts were held to unite communities and strengthen social bonds. The layout of the stones and the circular design of the monument may reflect an ancient understanding of the cosmos, with the circle symbolizing unity and eternity. In this interpretation, Stonehenge may have been a place for the living to connect with the divine and the cosmos, rather than a place solely for the dead. In addition to its spiritual and ceremonial uses, Stonehenge's function as a burial site cannot be overlooked. Archaeological excavations have revealed numerous burial mounds and cremation pits in the surrounding area, suggesting that the site may have been a necropolis for high-status individuals. Some of these burial sites date back to the early stages of Stonehenge's construction, implying that the monument may have had a dual function as both a place of life and death, a place where the living honored their ancestors while also preparing for their own eventual passing. Despite the many theories, the exact purpose of Stonehenge remains elusive. It is possible that the monument had multiple functions, serving as both an astronomical observatory, a burial site, and a center for religious and social rituals. Some researchers even suggest that Stonehenge's purpose evolved over time, shifting from one use to another as the needs and beliefs of the people who built it changed. The fact that the monument was built and used over such a long period, spanning more than 1,000 years, only adds to the mystery. The question of who built Stonehenge and why is also tied to the broader mystery of the people who constructed it. It is widely believed that the builders were part of a Neolithic society, but the exact identity of these people remains unclear. Theories about their cultural and religious practices vary, with some suggesting that they were early Druids, while others propose that they were part of a larger, forgotten civilization with knowledge of astronomy and engineering far ahead of their time. The lack of written records from this period makes it difficult to understand the society that created Stonehenge, leaving behind only the stones themselves as a testament to their skill and ingenuity. Stonehenge's enduring mystery is compounded by the fact that much of its history remains hidden beneath the surface. Many questions remain unanswered. How did the builders choose the site? What was the exact process of constructing the monument? What motivated the people who erected it to undertake such an immense and labor-intensive project? And perhaps most importantly, why was it built in the first place? As we stand before this ancient structure, we are reminded that the answers to these questions may be lost to time, hidden in the mists of history. In the end, Stonehenge is not just a monument. It is a symbol of humanity's desire to understand the cosmos, to connect with the divine, and to create something that would endure beyond their time. Its mysteries, like those of other ancient monuments, may never be fully unraveled. But in their silence, the stones of Stonehenge continue to speak to us, inviting us to look deeper into the past and to reflect on the ancient knowledge and beliefs that shaped the world long before our time. Stonehenge is a testament to the timeless human quest for meaning, a quest that continues to this day as we search for answers to the greatest mysteries of our existence. In the vast, arid plains of southern Peru, a collection of enormous geoglyphs, known as the Nazca Line, stretches across the desert floor, their scale and precision visible only from the sky. These ancient figures, some depicting animals, others intricate geometric patterns, remain one of the most perplexing and mysterious archaeological discoveries in the world. Stretching over an area of approximately 50 square kilometers, the Nazca Lines are among the most impressive and enigmatic artifacts of pre-Columbian South America. Yet their purpose and method of creation remain subjects of intense debate and speculation. How could such vast images, some more than 1,000 feet in length, have been created by a culture that lacked the technology to view them from above? And why would anyone go to such immense effort to create images that could only be fully appreciated from the air? The Nazca Lines were made by the Nazca culture, who inhabited the region between 500 BCE and 500 CE. The geoglyphs, formed by removing the top layer of reddish-brown iron oxide-coated pebbles to reveal the lighter-colored earth beneath, depict a wide variety of motifs, including stylized animals such as monkeys, birds, and spiders, as well as geometric shapes like spirals, triangles, and rectangles. Some figures are so large that they can only be appreciated from the air, suggesting that they were deliberately designed to be seen from a height. Although how the Nazca people managed to construct these immense works without aerial assistance is still unclear. The mystery of the Nazca Lines deepens when we consider their purpose. One widely accepted theory is that the lines were created for religious or ceremonial purposes, possibly to honor the gods or to facilitate ritual practices. The alignment of some lines with the position of the sun, moon, and stars suggests a link to the Nazca people's understanding of astronomy, perhaps serving as pathways for religious processions or as markers for celestial events. Certain figures, such as the depiction of Spider, are believed to have had symbolic meanings related to the gods, while others might have been created to act as directional markers or to establish connections with other sacred sites. However, some researchers have proposed more speculative theories, suggesting that the Nazca Lines were not simply ceremonial, but may have served an astronomical function. For example, some scholars have suggested that the geoglyphs were used as a form of ancient calendar or as guides for ritualistic activities tied to the stars and celestial bodies. This hypothesis posits that the lines were a way for the Nazca people to track the cycles of the sun, moon, and planets, and perhaps even to predict certain cosmic events like eclipses. The geometric patterns and spirals might have been tools for aligning with celestial events, making the lines part of a larger, cosmologically oriented religious system. Other theories suggest that the Nazca Lines could have had a more practical function. For instance, some researchers believe the lines were created as a form of irrigation or water management. Given the arid conditions of the region, the Nazca civilization would have relied heavily on water sources, and some lines might have been symbolic representations of water channels or pathways that connected different water sources. The idea that the lines could have had agricultural or water-related purposes is supported by the discovery of ancient water systems in the region. These systems, which included underground aqueducts and reservoirs, indicate that the Nazca were highly skilled in engineering and water management. But the most extraordinary and intriguing theory of all suggests that the Nazca Lines may have been created as an offering to extraterrestrial beings. This idea, which remains highly speculative, is based on the premise that the vast and intricate designs could only be properly appreciated from the sky, leading some to hypothesize that the Nazca people may have believed in or interacted with beings from other worlds. Proponents of this theory argue that the sheer scale of the lines, as well as their precise alignment, suggests that the Nazca may have been creating a welcome mat for visitors from above. Though there is no concrete evidence to support this idea, it continues to captivate those who are drawn to the mysteries of ancient civilizations and their potential contact with extraterrestrial forces. Regardless of their intended purpose, the Nazca Lines also raise questions about the methods used to create them. Without aerial views, it seems inconceivable that the Nazca people could have accurately planned and executed these massive designs. Theories about how the lines were made range from the use of simple tools like ropes and stakes to more complex methods involving a grid system or a kind of rudimentary surveyor's technique. Some researchers have even suggested that the Nazca used the stars themselves to map out the lines, aligning them with celestial bodies as a guide for their creation. The true method remains a mystery, as the techniques used to construct the lines have not been definitively proven. The Nazca lines also present a fascinating paradox. On one hand, they represent an incredible feat of engineering and artistry, demonstrating a high level of sophistication in design and execution. Yet, on the other hand, they're the product of a society that existed long before the advent of modern technology. The scale, precision, and complexity of the geoglyphs are far beyond what we might expect from a civilization that had no knowledge of aerial perspectives. How did the Nazca, with their rudimentary tools and techniques, create such grand and detailed images? Was it the result of simple human ingenuity, or was there something more extraordinary at play? Even more intriguing is the possibility that the Nazca lines may have been influenced by a lost or forgotten tradition of immense scale. Could there have been an ancient knowledge or practice passed down through generations that enabled the Nazca people to achieve what seems impossible today? And if so, why was this knowledge lost? The possibility that the Nazca were tapping into some form of advanced or esoteric wisdom raises questions not only about the capabilities of ancient civilizations, but also about the broader patterns of cultural knowledge transmission throughout history. Today, the Nazca lines remain one of the most enduring mysteries of the ancient world. They are a testament to the creativity, ingenuity, and spiritual vision of the Nazca people. But they also raise profound questions about human history, the nature of ancient knowledge, and the ways in which civilizations engage with their environments. Whether they were designed as offerings to the gods, maps of the stars, or symbols of extraterrestrial contact, the Nazca lines continue to inspire wonder and fascination. They remind us that, as we gaze upon the earth, there are still mysteries beneath our feet, vast, intricate, and waiting to be uncovered. Among the many unsolved riddles that have captivated the minds of cryptographers, historians, and linguists, the Voynich manuscript stands as one of the most mysterious and perplexing of all. Known for its strange, indecipherable script and bizarre illustrations, the manuscript is a puzzle that has defied solution for over 600 years. Discovered in 1912 by a rare book dealer named Wilfred Voynich, the manuscript appears to be an ancient text, possibly from the early 15th century, though its origins and purpose remain a complete enigma. Despite the best efforts of some of the world's leading cryptographers, linguists, and even computer scientists, the manuscript's language remains as impenetrable as ever, leading many to question whether it holds the key to a long-forgotten knowledge, or if it is simply a hoax crafted to elude understanding. The Voynich manuscript is a beautifully bound codex, consisting of around 240 pages and filled with elaborate drawings and diagrams. What makes it unique, however, is not just its physical beauty, but the fact that the text is written in an alphabet and script that has never been seen before. No one has been able to identify the language of the text, nor has any linguist been able to find a correlation with known languages or writing systems from any period of history. The manuscript script is completely foreign, with its flowing, curvilinear characters arranged in a pattern that seems both systematic and random, depending on one's perspective. This has led some scholars to speculate that the manuscript could be written in a code, while others believe it may be an entirely unknown language that has been lost to time. The content of the manuscript is equally mysterious. Its pages contain a series of elaborate illustrations, many of which depict unfamiliar plants, astrological symbols, and strange human figures engaged in various activities, often in fantastical or surreal settings. Some of the most perplexing drawings show naked women bathing in tubs or surrounded by odd geometric shapes, leading some to speculate that the manuscript may contain obscure alchemical or herbal knowledge, or even ancient rituals. Other pages feature diagrams that resemble astronomical charts, as well as what appears to be an intricate zodiac, hinting that the text may have astrological or mystical significance. Despite extensive attempts to crack the manuscript's code, no one has been able to decipher its meaning with certainty. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed about the manuscript's origins and purpose. Some scholars believe it may be a work of alchemy or herbalism, perhaps a treatise on the properties of plants and their medicinal uses, written in an encoded language to protect the knowledge from being stolen or misused. Others have speculated that the manuscript was created as a kind of magical or religious text, perhaps intended to convey secret rituals or mystical teachings. One of the more outlandish theories suggests that the manuscript could have been written by extraterrestrials or time travelers, offering a glimpse into an unknown civilization or a future society. While these theories vary widely, the lack of any tangible clues or direct evidence means that all of them remain speculative, adding to the mystery surrounding the manuscript. One of the most persistent theories about the manuscript is that it is a medieval hoax, created by an author or forger attempting to deceive others into believing it held hidden or esoteric knowledge. Some researchers point to the fact that the manuscript script appears to follow a kind of linguistic pattern, suggesting that it could be an elaborate cipher. In this view, the strange illustrations would serve as distractions or smokescreens, leading would-be translators down false paths. Yet, while the script may appear to follow a pattern, there is no definitive key to unlock its code, and no one has been able to demonstrate conclusively that it can be translated into a coherent language or set of symbols. The idea that the manuscript is a hoax has been largely dismissed by many scholars, as the effort required to create such a convincing and elaborate work would seem disproportionate to the intended deception. Another theory holds that the manuscript is a product of an ancient lost civilization, perhaps from the Mediterranean or Middle East, whose language and culture have since been erased from history. In this interpretation, the manuscript is viewed as a surviving fragment of a once great tradition, its meaning lost when its creators vanished or were absorbed by other cultures. Some have suggested that the manuscript may have been written by a group of scholars or mystics who created it as a repository of their knowledge, which could have been passed down to later generations in secret. This idea suggests that the manuscript is not a random concoction, but rather a carefully constructed document that encodes a complex and advanced system of thought, one that remains inaccessible to modern readers. The manuscript's history only deepens the mystery. Its origins are uncertain, and there is no definitive record of where it came from before it was purchased by Voynich. Some historians trace its history back to the early 16th century, when it may have been in the possession of the famous Emperor Rudolph II of the Holy Roman Empire, who was known for his interest in alchemy and the occult. The manuscript's journey from there remains unclear, but it eventually came into the hands of Wilfrid Voynich, who, upon acquiring the book, became obsessed with unlocking its secrets. Since then, the manuscript has passed through the hands of various owners and researchers, all of whom have failed to crack its code. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Voynich manuscript is its ability to resist decoding despite the best efforts of modern technology. In recent years, computational linguistics and artificial intelligence have been employed to analyze the manuscript, but no breakthroughs have been made. Some computer models have suggested that the script may have a statistical structure similar to known languages, but no meaningful translation has been achieved. The manuscript's cryptic nature is so resistant to analysis that it has even become the subject of mathematical studies, with some researchers claiming that the manuscript may represent a form of natural language that has simply fallen out of use. The Voynich manuscript's continued existence serves as a reminder of the many mysteries that remain hidden in history. It is a tantalizing puzzle, a testament to the limits of human knowledge and understanding. Despite the efforts of countless scholars and the advancement of technology, the manuscript's true meaning remains locked away, as if it is waiting for the right mind or the right key to unlock its secrets. The manuscript is not just an artifact of the past. It is a living riddle, continuing to captivate those who seek to uncover its hidden truth. Whether it is an ancient text of forgotten knowledge, a clever hoax, or a message from a distant time or place, the Voynich manuscript remains an enigma that refuses to be solved, a timeless puzzle in the world of history and mystery. The Pyre Reis map, one of the most famous and mysterious cartographic artifacts in the world, has sparked intense curiosity and speculation since its discovery in 1929. A world map drawn in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Pyre Reis. The map contains a striking representation of the South American coastline, the Caribbean, and the northernmost parts of Antarctica. What makes the Piri Reis map so extraordinary is not only its remarkable level of detail for a map created during the age of exploration, but also the accurate depiction of land masses that were not officially known to the outside world at the time. Among its most baffling features is the depiction of the coast of Antarctica, an area that had not yet been discovered or mapped by Europeans and whose ice-covered surface would have made it nearly impossible to chart. This has led many to ask, how did Piri Reis have access to such detailed and accurate geographical knowledge, hundreds of years before modern technology and exploration? Was this map the product of lost ancient knowledge, or does it point to more extraordinary, even supernatural, explanations? The Piri Reis map is a fragment of a much larger world map that was drawn in 1513, and its surviving section, measuring about 5 inches by 5 inches, has been preserved in the Topkapi Palace Museum in Istanbul, Turkey. It shows part of the Western Hemisphere, including the coastline of South America, the Caribbean islands, and the northern coast of Antarctica. The map is drawn on a piece of parchment made from animal skin, and it is composed of various materials, including ink, pigments, and gold leaf. One of the most striking features of the map is its highly detailed depiction of South America's coastline. What is unusual, however, is the precision with which the map presents the contours of the coastline, especially considering that European explorers had not yet fully charted the region. What has perplexed researchers for years, however, is the depiction of Antarctica. On the map, the southernmost part of the world, including the coast of Antarctica, is shown without any ice, an impossibility in the context of the 16th century. Antarctica, as we know today, has been covered in thick ice sheets for millions of years, and it wasn't until the early 19th century that European explorers first ventured into the region. How then did Piri Reis include a detailed representation of the continent in his map, one that seems to reflect the coastline as it would look without the ice? This depiction of an ice-free Antarctica is what has drawn the most attention from researchers and has fueled a number of wild theories about the map's origins. Some scholars have proposed that the Piri Reis map may have been based on older, lost maps that came from civilization far more advanced than the 16th century Ottoman Empire. One of the most prominent theories is that the map was drawn based on ancient knowledge passed down from the lost civilization of Atlantis. According to this theory, the map could have been made by survivors of a great ancient civilization who possessed sophisticated knowledge of geography and cartography long before the rise of modern civilizations. These theorists suggest that the knowledge of the world's geography, including Antarctica, was passed down to later cultures, such as the Egyptians, Greeks, and even the Mayans, whose maps eventually made their way into the hands of Piri Reis. This hypothesis suggests that the world map we see today is not just a product of Piri Reis's own observations, but rather a fragment of an ancient, forgotten knowledge that has been lost to history. Another theory that has gained popularity involves the possibility that the Piri Reis map was based on a much earlier and more accurate map created by ancient seafaring civilizations, possibly from the distant past. This theory posits that there may have been ancient seafarers, perhaps the Phoenicians, Egyptians, or even earlier unknown civilizations, who had the means to travel vast distances and accurately map the world's coastlines. According to this theory, these ancient sailors may have created maps with knowledge of far-off lands, including Antarctica, and these maps were preserved and passed down over the centuries. Piri Reis, with access to various older maps from different cultures, may have compiled and copied these maps into his own world map. One compelling argument for the existence of such ancient seafaring civilizations comes from the archaeological record, which reveals evidence of ancient maritime cultures with advanced shipbuilding techniques. Ancient Egypt, for example, had highly sophisticated naval fleets capable of long voyages across the Mediterranean and beyond. The Phoenicians, too, were known for their prowess in navigation and mapping, and their influence stretched across vast parts of the ancient world. Could these ancient cultures have mapped distant lands like Antarctica long before modern explorers? If so, how could they have known the precise contours of the southernmost continent, which was covered in ice at the time and impossible to access by ship? While these theories remain speculative, the idea that the Piri-Reis map might be based on lost or forgotten ancient knowledge is not without its appeal. The map's highly detailed depictions of South America and Antarctica suggest that whoever created it possessed knowledge that was far beyond what would have been expected for a 16th century cartographer. Some researchers even suggest that the map's creators may have had access to more advanced tools and instruments for measuring and plotting geographical features, perhaps even instruments that were lost in antiquity. Another possible explanation for the map's accuracy is that it was the result of a collaboration between European and non-European sources. During the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire was a major center of trade and cultural exchange, and it is possible that Piri-Reis had access to maps and geographical information from other cultures, including those of the Americas and beyond. This could explain the unusual detail of the map, as it may have been based on the work of various explorers and cartographers from different parts of the world, each contributing to a more comprehensive understanding of the globe. Despite these theories, some scholars argue that the Piri-Reis map is simply a product of the cartographic knowledge of the time based on the available sources at the time. Piri-Reis, a highly skilled cartographer, likely drew on maps and geographical records that were available to him, including those from ancient civilizations and contemporary European explorers. The map may have incorporated various sources, including information from early Portuguese and Spanish explorers who had begun charting the coastlines of the New World. According to this view, the map is not the result of ancient lost knowledge, but rather the product of an extensive collection of cartographic sources compiled by Piri-Reis into a single, impressive document. While this theory may seem plausible, it does not explain the depiction of Antarctica. The fact that the map shows Antarctica with an ice-free coastline remains a mystery that continues to baffle scholars. Some have suggested that the ice-free depiction of the continent could be a mistake, a cartographic error made by Piri-Reis or one of his sources. However, the precision with which the map shows the continent suggests that it is not a simple mistake, but rather a deliberate and carefully drawn feature. Regardless of its origins, the Piri-Reis map remains one of the most important and enigmatic documents in the history of cartography. It has captured the imagination of researchers, explorers, and conspiracy theorists alike, all seeking to unlock its secrets and understand how such an accurate and mysterious map could have been created in the early 16th century. Whether it is a relic of ancient knowledge, a compilation of diverse sources, or a product of Piri-Reis's own brilliance, the map continues to be a symbol of humanity's ongoing quest to understand the world and its many mysteries. The Piri-Reis map reminds us that there is much we still don't know about the past, and that history, like the map itself, is often incomplete, full of gaps and puzzles that we may never fully solve. As we look at the map today, we are left with a sense of wonder and awe, wondering whether there were once civilizations that knew far more about the world than we could ever imagine, or whether the secrets of the Piri-Reis map will remain hidden from us forever. In either case, the map's enduring mystery continues to captivate our curiosity, urging us to seek answers in the uncharted waters of the past. The Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, has stood as an enduring testament to the incredible engineering and architectural abilities of ancient Egypt. It is a marvel of precision, scale, and mystery, attributes that have inspired both awe and speculation for centuries. While mainstream historians generally agree that the pyramid was built as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, who reigned during the 4th dynasty around 2580 BC, many questions surrounding its construction, purpose, and hidden secrets continue to perplex archaeologists and researchers to this day. What was the true purpose behind its design? How were the massive stone blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, transported and placed with such precision? And, perhaps most tantalizing of all, what hidden chambers or messages lie beneath the pyramid's towering exterior? The Great Pyramid, the largest of the 3 pyramids at Giza, originally stood at 481 feet, 146 meters tall, though it now measures around 449 feet, 137 meters, due to the loss of its outer casing. The pyramid was constructed using an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing several tons, with the total weight of the structure believed to be approximately 6.5 million tons. The construction techniques used to build such a monumental structure have long been a topic of debate. The Egyptians, while highly skilled in stone masonry, would not have had access to the advanced machinery or tools that modern engineers use today. This raises the question, how could they have transported and precisely placed the massive stones that make up the pyramid? Many theories have been proposed regarding the methods used to move and place the pyramid stones. The most commonly accepted theory is that a system of ramps, either straight or spiral, was used to transport the stones up the pyramid's growing sides. Some researchers believe that the ramps were straight, built alongside the pyramid as construction progressed, while others suggest a spiral ramp was constructed around the pyramid's exterior or even within its interior. Despite these theories, no definitive evidence has been found to confirm how the Egyptians managed such a feat, and the exact method of construction remains one of the great mysteries of ancient Egypt. Equally enigmatic is the question of the pyramid's purpose. While the tomb theory is widely accepted, with the pyramid built as a burial place for Pharaoh Khufu, there is much about its design that doesn't entirely align with the idea of a mere tomb. The precision with which the pyramid is aligned to the cardinal points of the compass, within a fraction of a degree, suggests that the pyramid may have had a more complex, even cosmological, significance. Some researchers believe that the pyramid was not just a tomb, but also a symbolic gateway to the afterlife, designed to facilitate the pharaoh's journey to the stars. The ancient Egyptians believed in the concept of an afterlife, and the pyramid's shape, resembling a giant staircase, may have been intended to allow the pharaoh to ascend to the heavens. The pyramid's alignment with the stars, particularly the constellation of Orion, adds weight to this theory. In Egyptian mythology, Orion was associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and many of the pyramids at Giza are aligned with this constellation. The Great Pyramid, with its near-perfect alignment, may have been intentionally designed to reflect the heavens, with Khufu's soul intended to join the gods upon his death. In this context, the pyramid would have served not just as a physical tomb, but as a spiritual vehicle, linking the earthly and celestial realms. As fascinating as these theories are, they don't fully explain the many other mysteries that surround the Great Pyramid. Beneath the pyramid, there are chambers and passageways that continue to intrigue researchers. The pyramid is known to have several internal chambers, including the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, and the Grand Gallery. While these spaces have been studied extensively, there are still areas within the pyramid that remain unexplored. Some recent studies, including advanced scanning technologies such as cosmic ray imaging and thermal imaging, have suggested that there could be hidden chambers within the pyramid that have yet to be discovered. These chambers could potentially hold secrets that have been lost to history, further adding to the pyramid's aura of mystery. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Great Pyramid is the so-called air shafts that extend from the King's Chamber and Queen's Chamber. These shafts, which were originally thought to have no real purpose, have prompted numerous theories. Some researchers believe they were designed to align with specific stars or constellations, possibly allowing the pharaoh's soul to ascend to the heavens. Others have speculated that the shafts may have served a more practical purpose, such as ventilation for the tomb, though this theory is less widely accepted. The exact function of these shafts remains a subject of debate, and their alignment with various celestial bodies only deepens the mystery. In addition to the unexplored internal chambers, there are also strange features on the pyramid's exterior that have led to speculation about its true purpose. The precision with which the pyramid was constructed is unparalleled in ancient architecture, with each stone block fitting so perfectly together that even a thin sheet of paper cannot be inserted between them. Some researchers have wondered whether the pyramid's construction may have involved advanced knowledge of engineering, geometry, or even mathematics that was far beyond what is typically attributed to the ancient Egyptians. Could it be that the builders of the pyramid possessed secret knowledge, passed down through the ages that allowed them to create a structure of such extraordinary precision? Another mystery surrounds the pyramid's casing stones. The Great Pyramid was originally covered in smooth, polished limestone casing stones, which reflected the sunlight and made the pyramid shine brilliantly during the day. Over time, most of these casing stones were removed or have eroded, leaving the rough core structure that we see today. However, the precise nature of the casing stones and their purpose is still unclear. Some researchers believe that the casing stones may have been part of an even larger, more elaborate system of symbolism and ritual, possibly linked to the ancient Egyptians' reverence for light and the sun god Ra. Theories about the Great Pyramid's construction and purpose often touch on more extraordinary ideas as well. Some fringe theories suggest that the pyramid may have been built as a power plant or an energy device. According to these theories, the pyramid's shape and alignment may have been designed to harness cosmic energy, directing it through the internal chambers or even into the earth. Proponents of these ideas point to the pyramid's precision and its possible relationship with astronomical alignments as evidence that the Egyptians may have had access to advanced technologies that have since been lost. Though these ideas remain highly speculative, they continue to captivate the imagination of those who seek to understand the true purpose behind the Great Pyramid. Despite the many questions and theories, the Great Pyramid of Giza remains one of the most awe-inspiring and enduring symbols of ancient Egypt. It is a structure that transcends time, continuing to challenge our understanding of the past. The pyramid's scale, precision, and enigmatic features ensure that it remains one of the greatest archaeological mysteries in the world. Whether it is seen as a tomb, a gateway to the afterlife, or a repository of lost knowledge, the Great Pyramid continues to fascinate and inspire, urging us to look deeper into the secrets buried within its stones. As we stand before this ancient wonder, we are reminded that the mysteries of the past may never be fully solved, but they will continue to fuel our curiosity and wonder, guiding us through the corridors of time and into the unknown.